Hi guys, let's read the news in short section of June 2020 Vision IAS Current Affairs. So the first topic is United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR Global Trends Report. UNHCR is a global organization dedicated to saving lives, protecting rights, and building a better future for refugees, forcibly displaced communities, and stateless people. It was created in 1950 during the aftermath of the Second World War to help millions of Europeans who had fled or lost their homes. Key highlights: at least 100 million people were forced to flee their homes in the past decade. Out of these, 40% are children. 30 to 34 million are among the displaced. Forced displacement has almost doubled since 2010, 41 million in 2010 versus 79.5 million in 2019. 80% of world's displaced people are in countries or territories affected by acute water scarcity, food insecurity, and malnutrition. 5 countries account for two-thirds of people displaced across borders. They are Syria, Venezuela, Afghanistan, South Sudan, and Myanmar. So the 5 countries which account for two-thirds of people displaced across borders are Syria, Venezuela, Afghanistan, South Sudan, and Myanmar. 85% are in developing countries, generally a country neighboring the one they fled. There are around 195,105 refugees in India at end of 2019. Now let's come to the second topic, that is strategic sector. Under Atmanirbhar Bharat package, a new public sector enterprise PSE policy has been announced, with plans to privatize PSEs except the ones functioning in certain strategic sectors. Under the proposed policy, government will come up with list of strategic sectors. Each strategic sector will consist at least one and no more than 4 public sector enterprises (PSEs). PSEs of other sectors will be privatized, merged, or brought under a holding company. The move is expected to minimize wasteful administrative cost and improve efficiency. Strategic sector. Government in 1999 classified the PSCs into strategic and non-strategic areas for the purpose of disinvestment. The industrial activities or industries belonging to sectors of national importance are categorized as strategic sectors. Currently, following areas are categorized as strategic PSCs. They are arms and ammunition and the allied items of defense equipment, defense aircrafts and warships. Atomic energy except areas related to operation of nuclear power and applications of radiation and radioisotopes to agriculture, medicine and non-strategic industries. And the third one is railways transport. So the first one is arms and ammunition and allied items. The second one is atomic energy, and the third one would be railways. All other CPSEs are considered as non-strategic. For the non-strategic PSEs, government stake would be reduced. Manner and pace of doing so to be worked out on a case-to-case basis. Now let's come to the third point, or the third topic, that is Kisan Credit Cards KCC campaign launched for 1.5 crore dairy farmers. It aims to provide short-term credit to dairy farmers for meeting their requirements for working capital, marketing, etc. It is part of Atmanirbhar Bharat package to cover 2.5 crore new farmers under KCC scheme. About KCC scheme. It was introduced in 1998 to issue KCC to farmers on basis of their holdings for uniform adoption by banks and flexible and simplified procedure. It provides adequate and timely credit support to the farmers from the banking system for their cultivation and other needs, like short-term credit requirements, post-harvest expenses, consumption requirements of farmer household, working capital for maintenance of farm assets and activities allied to agriculture, investment credit requirements for agriculture and allied activities. It also provides the facility of ATM-enabled RuPay card, one-time documentation, built-in cost escalation in limit, and any number of withdrawals within limits. Implemented by commercial banks, RRBs, small finance banks, and cooperatives. Eligibility: small farmers, marginal farmers, sharecroppers, oral laissez, and tenant farmers, self-help groups or joint liability groups of farmers. Eligibility: small farmers, marginal farmers, sharecroppers, oral lessee, and tenant farmers, self-help groups or joint liability groups of farmers. In 2018-19, KCC facility was extended to animal husbandry, farmers, and fisheries. Now let's come to the fourth topic, that is the Urban Planning Internship Program, TULIP, launched. So TULIP portal was launched jointly by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, MOHUA, and All India Council for Technical Education. TULIP, it would be the Urban Learning Internship Program. TULIP is a program for providing internship opportunities to fresh graduates in all urban local bodies and smart cities across country. Applicants must be Indian citizens who have completed their final year of college within last 18 months. Program does not have any budget of its own. It was earlier proposed in Union Budget 2020-21 announcement. It will have an integrated digital platform which allows interns and all ULBs or smart cities to interact and engage under one roof. MOHUA will also undertake facility building initiatives in partnerships with state governments to enable participation of ULBs and smart cities under TULIP. Expected benefits to ULBs and smart cities: gaining short-term talent to increase productivity, offering management experience to mid-level employees. Full-time employees focus on essential tasks, building local community capacities. Expected benefits to interns: gain insider and realistic view of urban government system and acquire hands-on work experience. Integrate academic coursework with practical application and skill development. Now let's come to the fifth topic, that is strengthening teaching, learning and results for states program, STARS. World Bank (WB) approved a $500 million STARS program which aims to improve quality and governance of school education in 6 states. States include Himachal Pradesh, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Orissa, and Rajasthan. It will provide benefit to 25 crore students and 1 crore teachers in 15 lakh schools. STARS will support following reform initiatives, focusing on delivery of education services by providing customized local-level solutions towards school improvement, addressing demands from stakeholders, especially parents, for greater accountability and inclusion by producing better data to assess the quality of learning, giving special attention to students from vulnerable sections, delivering a curriculum that keeps pace with the rapidly evolving needs of the job market, individualized needs-based training for teachers, strengthening foundational learning for children in classes 1 to 3 and preparing them with the cognitive, socio-behavioral, and language skills to meet future labor market needs. At the national level, through Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan and in partnership with the 6 states, it will help improve learning assessment systems, strengthen classroom instruction and remediation, facilitate school to work transition, strengthen governance and decentralized management. Now let's come to the sixth topic, that is champions technology platform. Champions creation and harmonious application of modern processes for increasing the output and national strength is a robust ICT-based system launched recently. It aims to empower MSMEs by providing grievance redressal for MSMEs, help MSMEs capture new opportunities, identify and encourage potential MSMEs to become national and international champions. Now let's come to the seventh topic, that is Swades. Skilled workers skilled workers arrival database for employment support. Swades. It is a joint initiative of Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Ministry of Civil Aviation and Ministry of External Affairs. It is an initiative to conduct a skill mapping exercise of returning citizens under Vande Bharat mission. It aims to create a database of qualified citizens based on their skill sets and experience to tap into and fulfill demand of Indians and foreign companies. Now let's come to the eighth topic, that is Skills Build Reignite SBR and Skills Build Innovation Camp SBIC. It is a partnership between Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship and IBM. SBR seeks to provide job seekers and entrepreneurs with access to free online coursework and mentoring support designed to help them reinvent their careers and businesses. SBIC is a 10-week program which supports 100 hours of structured learning for gaining hands-on project experience to enhance learning and building network and enhance employability. 10th topic would be Sahakar Mitra. Sahakar Mitra. It is an internship program to provide paid internship to youth and ensure availability of assured project loans to young cooperators. Professional graduates in disciplines such as agriculture and allied areas, IT, etc., will also be eligible. It is an initiative by National Cooperative Development Corporation (NCDC), a statutory body under the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare. Functions of NCDC: planning, promoting, and financing programs for production, processing, marketing, storage, export, and import of agricultural produce, etc. Now let's come to the 10th topic, that is World Competitiveness Index. It was released by Institute for Management Development, independent academic institution. India ranked 43rd out of 63 nations, same as last year. It highlighted traditional weaknesses like poor infrastructure, low investment in education and health system. India has recorded improvements in areas like long-term employment growth, high-tech exports, foreign currency reserves, political stability, etc. Singapore has retained its top position on the 63 nation list. Note: this index is different from Global Competitiveness Index, which is released by World Economic Forum. So the Global Competitiveness Index is released by World Economic Forum, and the World Competitiveness Index is released by Institute for Management Development, which is an independent academic institution. Now let's come to the 11th topic, that is State of World Population Report 2020. United Nations Population Fund UNFPA, United Nations Sexual and Reproductive Health Agency has released a report titled State of World Population 2020, titled Against My Will: Defying the Practices That Harm Women and Girls and Undermine Equality. Report focuses on gender bias and violence against girls and women. Key highlights: harmful practices. Report identifies harmful practices against women, out of which 3 are most widespread and persistent: female genital mutilation (FGM), child marriage, and son preference. Globally, 1 in 5 girls is married by age 18. In India, child marriage is directly linked to poverty, poor education, and geographic location. Rural versus urban and gender-based sex selection has emerged as a problem among affluent families. Missing females. Missing females are women missing from the population at given dates due to the cumulative effect of postnatal and prenatal sex selection in the past. Preference for sons and gender-biased sex selection have led to over 142 million girls missing globally. In India, 46 million girls are missing, that is, they were not born due to sex selection biases. Each year between 2013 and 2017, 1.2 million girls lost annually to female feticide. Impact of COVID. Pandemic threatens to reverse progress made in ending these practices due to economic hardships, loss of access to health services, etc. What are these suggestions? The first suggestion is tackle the root causes, especially gender biased norms. And the second suggestion is estimating funding needs and tracking financial flows for sexual and reproductive health services. Now let's come to the 12th topic, that is Niti Aayog launches behavior change campaign, navigating the new normal. It was launched in partnership with Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, BMGF, Center for Social and Behavioral Change, CSBC, Ashoka University, and the Ministry of Health and Women and Child Welfare. It focuses on COVID safe behaviors, especially wearing masks during the unlock phase of the ongoing pandemic. It is developed under the guidance of Empowered Group 6, constituted by the Government of India and chaired by CEO Niti Aayog. Empowered Group 6 was constituted to address the issues pertaining to identification of problems, effective solutions, and formulation of plans for COVID-19 related response activities with private sector, NGOs, and international organizations. The campaign has two parts. The first part is a web portal containing information related to COVID safe behavioral norms during the unlock phase. Four key behaviors in the unlock phase. Number 1, wearing mask or mask wearing. Number 2, social distancing. Number 3, hand hygiene. Number 4, not spitting in public. So now let's come to the second part of the campaign. A media campaign focused on wearing of mask. It has made an effort to provide people with prompts and reminders along with simple, easy to practice ideas of designing their environment. Now let's come to the 13th topic, that is Food Safety Compliance System, FOSCOS, launched by FSSAI. FOSCOS is cloud-based, upgraded food safety compliance online platform that will act as one-stop point. It will act as one-stop point for all regulatory and compliance engagements of FSSAI with food business operators. It will replace existing food licensing and registration system. It will enable pan-India integrated response system to any food fraud and ensure an advanced risk-based data-driven regulatory approach. To eliminate errors and grant licenses quicker, licensing process for food manufacturers will be based on a standardized food product list on FOSCOS. Now let's come to the 14th topic, that is World Food Prize 2020. Indian American soil scientist Ratan Lal won this prize for developing and mainstreaming a soil-centric approach to increasing food production that conserves natural resources and mitigates climate change. Award was created by Nobel Peace Prize laureate Norman Borlaug in 1986 to recognize scientists and others who have improved the quality and availability of food. It is awarded by World Food Prize Foundation and it is considered to be Nobel Prize in Agriculture. So Nobel Prize in Agriculture would be World Food Prize Foundation and it is created by Nobel Peace Prize laureate Norman Borlaug in 1986, and this year it is won by Ratan Lal. Now let's come to the 15th topic, that is oil spill in Russia's Arctic region. Permafrost thawing is recognized as principal reason that led to recent 20,000 tons oil leak at an Arctic region power plant in Russia. Plant is built entirely on permafrost, whose weakening over the years due to climate change caused the pillars supporting the fuel tank to sink. Oil leaked into the local Ambernaya River in the Arctic region. So the oil leaked into the local Ambernaya River in the Arctic region, turning the surface crimson red. The Ambernaya River flows to the Piaseno Lake and River Piasena, which connects it to the Kara Sea, a part of the Arctic Ocean. About permafrost. Permafrost is a ground that remains completely frozen at 0 degrees Celsius or below for at least 2 years. It is composed of rock, soil, and sediments held together by ice and are believed to have formed during glacial periods dating several millennia. Every 1 degree Celsius rise in temperature can degrade up to 39 lakh kilometers square of permafrost due to thawing, which can result in ground becoming unstable and leading to landslides, floods, infrastructure damage, etc. Threat to survival of indigenous people and animals, release of greenhouse gases by decomposition or organic leftover under permafrost, release of ancient bacteria and viruses into atmosphere. Now we have a figure here. Eurasia, Greenland, North America. Permafrost status. Isolated, sporadic, discontinuous, continuous. Permafrost are known to be below 22% of land surface on Earth, mostly in polar zones and regions with high mountains. They are spread across 55% of the landmass in Russia and Canada, 85% in USA, state of Alaska, and possibly the entirety of Antarctica. So permafrost spreads across 55% of the landmass in Russia and Canada, 85% in US state of Alaska, and the entire Antarctica. Now let's come to the 16th topic, that is Environmental Performance Index, EPI. India ranked 168th rank compared to 177 in 2018 out of 180 countries in the 12th edition of the biennial Environment Performance Index released by Yale University. India scored below the regional average score on all 5 key parameters on environmental health. All South Asian countries except Afghanistan were ahead of India in the ranking. According to the index, India needs to redouble national sustainability efforts on all fronts such as air and water quality, biodiversity, and climate change. EPI ranks 180 countries on environmental health and ecosystem vitality using 32 performance indicators across 11 categories. Environmental health includes air quality, sanitation and drinking water, heavy metals, and waste management. Ecosystem vitality includes biodiversity and habitat, ecosystem services, fisheries, climate change, pollution emissions, agriculture and water resources. Overall, EPI rankings indicate which countries are best addressing the environmental challenges that every nation faces. Now let's come to the 17th topic, that is Nagar Van Scheme. Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change announced the Nagar Van Scheme on the occasion of World Environment Day, 5th June. About Nagar Van Scheme. It aims at developing 200 Nagar Van urban forest. Okay, Nagar Van. It won't be van, it would be one. Okay. So it is Nagar Van Scheme. Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change announced the Nagar Van Scheme on the occasion of World Environment Day, 5th June. About Nagar Van Scheme. It aims at developing 200 Nagar Van urban forests across the country in next 5 years in cities having municipal corporation or municipalities by involving local communities, educational institutions, local bodies, NGOs, etc. Under this scheme, a minimum of 20 hectares of forest will be created in the city. These forests will come up either on existing forest land or on any other vacant land offered by urban local bodies. Van Udyan, once established, will be maintained by the state government. Entry fees charged to the visitors will be used for maintenance of the forest. Cities authorities will be encouraged to have a city forest comprising area up to 100 hectare in forest area within their jurisdiction for deriving maximum ecological and environmental benefits. Scheme will be in part paid for by the CAMPA, Compensatory Afforestation Fund Act 2016 funds. Scheme is also linked to the school's nursery yojana that aims to build lasting bond between students and nature. Virge Urban Forest in Pune, Maharashtra will be considered as a role model for the scheme. Now let's come to the 18th topic, that is 2020 Desertification and Drought Day, June 17. The theme would be food, feed, fiber, the links between consumption and land. Desertification is the persistent degradation of dry land ecosystems by climate change and mainly human activities. Land degradation affects some 3.2 billion people. 70% of the world's land has been transformed by human activity. SDG 15 aims to halt and reverse land degradation. UN General Assembly had also declared 2010 to 2020 the United Nations Decade for Deserts and a Fight Against Desertification. Healthy and Energy Efficient Buildings Initiative. It is launched by Energy Efficiency Services Limited in partnership with US Agency for International Development's USAID. Market Integration and Transformation Program for Energy Efficiency METRI program. METRI is a part US-India bilateral partnership between Ministry of Power and USAID aimed at accelerating the adoption of cost-effective energy efficiency within buildings, etc. Initiative will pioneer ways to make workplaces healthier and greener. It will address challenges of retrofitting existing buildings and air conditioning systems so that they are both healthy and energy efficient. Now let's come to the 19th topic, that is Sukna Lake declared as wetland. Chandigarh Wetlands Authority issued a notification for the declaration of Sukna Lake as a wetland under Wetland Conservation and Management Rule 2017. Wetland Rules. Sukna Lake is a man-made lake in Chandigarh built in 1958. It is situated at foothills of Sivalik Hills and was designed to collect runoff water from the hills. Earlier, the lake was also declared a living entity or legal person. Activities like commercial mining, setting up of industries, establishment of large-scale commercial livestock and poultry farms, use of plastic carry bags, etc. won't be allowed in Sukna Lake. List of wetlands in India is developed based on the wetlands definition of the Ramsar Convention ratified by India. It defines wetlands as areas of marsh, fen, peatland, or water, whether natural or artificial, permanent or temporary, with water that is static or flowing, fresh, brackish, or salt, including areas of marine water, the depth of which at low tides does not exceed 6 meters. Wetland rules 2017 were notified under provisions of Environment Protection Act 1986 to protect wetlands across the country. Wetlands can be notified by center, state, and UT administration. It gives states or union territories powers to keep a watch on prohibited activities. So that's all, guys. See you in my next video. Bye.